Do you think the photo of the kiss at the Hôtel de Ville taken here in 1950 was real or posed?
It was taken by Robert Doisneau, a photographer born in this city, who dedicated much of his career to portraying the streets of Paris with a playful, bold eye and a very poetic narrative. Even though it seems like the kiss is authentic and super romantic, in reality the photo was planned and set up by Doisneau. In the 1950s, Doisneau was working as a freelance photographer for Life magazine and was assigned the task of photographing couples kissing on the streets of Paris. The photographer, although it might not seem like it, was quite shy and decided to bring in models. In an interview, he mentioned that he would never have dared to photograph couples in full romance because he thought that couples who kissed on the street were rarely legitimate. The models aren't either, but he was really lucky. And I'm going to tell you why. The young people at that time were budding actors and modeled for Doisneau, but they weren't exactly posing like models. They were walking, holding hands, and kissing in the most natural way. Later on, it turned out that they were actually flirting. And she mentioned in an interview that, although the photo was planned and posed for the author, the kiss was real. The couple ended up dating for a few months, and this image immortalized their fleeting romance. I'm not sure if the romance began with this flirtation or earlier, but this was the key for Doisneau to achieve a result that sparks the imagination and reminds us of those butterflies one feels when one is in love. For the photographer, everything was perfect and the couple was really flirting. But since they were his models, he could photograph them without embarrassment, getting as close as he needed, focusing directly on them with the lens, something that is very difficult to do when doing street photography. And in a certain way, I understand it myself, being a street photographer. What I do is walk and observe. Once I find what is going to be the background of my shot, I compose the shot with the elements I find. And if it's a crowded place, I stay there ready to click the camera, waiting for that candid moment. That may never happen, but you always have hope and you have to be ready. It's not that it's impossible to achieve a shot like this, spontaneous and real, but many factors have to come together and you need to have a lot of luck to achieve it because people usually don't feel comfortable when you point the lens at their face without permission. Often they cover themselves, turn away or remove themselves from the shot because they think they're in your way. So for Doisneau, the fact that his models were actually flirting made the chemistry between them noticeable in the photo he put together. Around them we can see people like good Parisians showing absolute indifference. I came to look for the exact place where Doisneau took this photograph, and it's here, at the crossroads of these streets, in front of the Hôtel de Ville, in the Marais neighborhood. I read somewhere that before taking this shot, Doisneau had seen a couple kissing and decided to recreate the scene. And then I thought of a contemporary photographer named Jeff Wald, who in a much more complex way recreates scenes found on the street. One day, I'll tell you about him. Let's go back to the kiss photo. The composition of the photo shows different elements. On one hand, we have the people walking who appear out of focus or moved, which emphasizes the couple. The image is bisected by a diagonal formed by the couple, creating tension and movement. In the frame, we can find full and empty spaces that give it the air of a completely candid instant photograph. The image remained forgotten in the June 12, 1950 issue of Life magazine for 3 decades until an editor called the photographer to make a poster with the shot, which was a success. From there, the image began to be reproduced countless times, and today it is an icon of romance in Paris.